All right, exercise number 1. So, make it a goal for yourself to get bare minimum 180 with this one. And that's just judging on the 195 you got last time, or the one from last week. So, maybe not get it the first time you're practicing it, but, by the end of this week, 180 bare minimum, okay? Here we go. That's what it sounds like at 60 beats a minute. $120. $160. The bare minimum goal, 180. $200. Okay. That's fast enough. Alright, now the single note version of it. So again, it's 60. Give me a good pitch. These strings, I got flat wounds on them, and just wanted to see how they were. They do not seem very conducive to good pinch harmonics. Oh well. Here we go, 120. $160. $200. And I'll stop at 240. Not very good. Maybe I can't do it. I need to practice this to be playing at 240 on this guy. Yeah. Oh well. That's tough to play. This particular rhythm is very tough to play at the 240 because of that little stop that you do. If I was not stopping and putting that little rhythm in there, then I could keep going. But yeah, it's interesting. All right, the hammer-on pull-offs. All right, here we go at 60. $120. 60. The B string I can get a good pinch on. At least at that fret. Alright, 200. I say that and then I blow that pinch. Oh well. Alright, and the goal speed of 240. Okay. And if you get that one to 240 before the next lesson, let me know. I'll send you the update. Alright, alternate pick and 16th note pattern. So here we go, 60. Now, if you find this too difficult to start with at 60, just make them eighth notes instead. Go ahead and work it up that way. There's nothing wrong with that because you got that last alternate picking deal up to 245. That tells me you're ready to start with 16th notes. But again, if you feel like it's too difficult at first, just cut it in half, do eighth notes. You can work on one bar at a time. You can just speed up one bar at a time or two at a time. You know, make it as easy as possible in order to get the whole thing. Always simplify as much as you need to in order to get the whole thing. Alright, 120. $160. Pinch, man. Alright, 200. The heck am I playing? Take two. So let me back it off to 180. So 180, this is considered the, this might be a mouthful, is considered the average fastest picking speed for playing 16th note patterns. So 180, that's like the really fast average for a great deal of people out there. So here it is at 180. So when you get this, you're up there. You're one of the faster guys. Here we go. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind, if during your first practice session of like putting the whole thing together, if you can't get it to at least 120, then you definitely have to go back down to eighth notes and work that back up. So if you can't play this at or work it up to 120 in your first practice session, you have to back it off to eighth notes and get that up to 240 before you switch it back to the 16th notes. So if you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. Alright, so this guy, let's make it a little bit bigger here. Alright, so this is the one I recommended just saying it first before you put the chords to it. So, you know, do it as slow as you need to. Even if you're going to like 1, 2, and 4. You know, that slow is fine. Again, slow as you need to. Simplify it as much as you need to in order to get it. You can work on 2 bars at a time. That's perfectly fine. So what you might want to do is, you know, you can practice just counting those 2 at a time. and then those two at a time, and then these two at a time, and then I can't highlight it the way I'm thinking, but then you do bars 4 and 1 together, because when you do the repeat, you'll need to go from this into this, and then you can put the whole thing together. So that's one way you could break it down into smaller pieces, put it together that way. But so for demonstration purposes here, I'll count it first all the way through, and then I'll count and play it. So here we go. This is what it sounds like, a 60. So you got 1, 2, and 4. 1 and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2 and 4, 1 and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and done. All right, now with the chords, and I'll count off if you'd like to follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1 and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 4, 1 and 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, and here we go with the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 cat back there. Okay. So I remember like the first thing I gave you all those scales, and you got them memorized. So you just run through them, correctly once a day. That would be really good. We will be getting back to them. Just right now, I want to keep focusing on getting the technique stuff better and the speed higher, and keep with the rhythm stuff. So we will get back to that. But if you just stick with playing them, work on alternate picking the whole thing as you go too. So now that you've gotten better at strict alternate picking, try that. When you're going up and down the scales, make sure you're alternate picking the whole time. And I believe that covers everything. But if you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you next week.